this wasn't your typical hip-hop and love dispute. This was a live ambush. The world briefly saw the well-groomed, beaming couple they had been selling for years. Then, with the kind of pandemonium that Instagram captions can't contain, Erica Mena turned the script on its head. No PR filter, no teasers, no hints. As if she had been waiting for years, she set the whole picture of Yandy and Mendeecees on fire in front of millions of people before leaving. Once the initial voicemail went live, the internet remained unflinching. Yandy lost her crown. Gone is Mendeecees' halo. Erica didn't only share her own problems. The world saw the home burn as she tore off the roof. Faces, audio messaging, and receipts were all present. It wasn't tea. It was matches and petrol. There's no turning back now. Before Erica Mena went live, it began like any other calm night on the internet. No pre-warning, no cryptic stories, no countdown. With a single tap, thousands of individuals were suddenly observing her. Glass of wine in hand, chilly smile, piercing gaze. It had a different vibe. It wasn't shade. In real time, a storm was developing. The room suddenly froze as Erica leaned towards the camera and whispered, "I'm tired of fake narratives." Everyone was fully aware of the person she was referring to. When she uttered the word that sent the entire internet reeling, the chat burst with names, guesses, and emojis. Yandy. This was more than just another love and hip-hop moment in less than 30 seconds. For years, this was a full-fledged live explosion. Mendeecees and Yandy Smith had meticulously constructed their black love goals image. Power pair energy is the idealized representation of strength and loyalty. Each holiday picture was identical. Each caption was flawless. Their children were the center of attention. Their smiles were unwavering. And they had perfected it in a field where perception is crucial. However, even BH1 dared not reveal the fissures that had been present all along in what Erica had in her phone that night. Let's go back. It took time for this beef to develop. For years, Yandy and Erica have been dancing around one another. Beneath every reunion panel and red carpet smile, their antagonism simmers. Their arguments were unfiltered in Season 3, before the wigs and filters were improved. Yandy's composure contrasted with Erica's boisterous, brazen fire. Cool calculation. They stood for two opposing sides of the same storm. When pushed, both are dangerous, one loud, one silent. However, Erica wasn't throwing a drink or lunging across a couch this time. She had receipts in her hands. Erica started, "I tried to let her play her little queen role. However, I draw the line when a man calls me at night and tells me what he wants." Fans saw the name Mendeecees in her death for the first time as she raised her phone and tapped the screen. A digital riot broke out in the comment area. "Is this authentic? Not Yandy's, man. Don't play with us, girl. You're awful." And she grinned. "Erica, I'm not playing here." Sure stated, "I'm here to tell the truth." Then she let it fall. An obscured screen grab of a purported Endy's message. "I wish you were beside me rather than her." Always had. Boom, the internet is down. Yandy couldn't have come at a worse time. She had shared a photo of Mendeecees and their children wearing matching clothing just hours before. Huge smiles, tar forever, black love. An ideal picture? However, after that image became viral, Erica's life was taking it all in. Blogs began to pick it up one by one. Twitter was inundated with screenshots. Edits from TikTok appeared in a matter of minutes. In actual time, the fairy tale was beginning to fall apart, but Erica was not finished. Y'all love to believe everything you see on Instagram. But what happens when the truth doesn't match the picture? She asked, leaning closer to the camera. She swiped once more, but this time it wasn't just texts. A voicemail was left. "I can't leave her right now. It's complicated, but I missed the peace I had with you." A deep, familiar male voice said, identifiable to admirers. One fan said, "This man out here is living double lives," while another remarked, "It's not him saying peace." That one word sent followers into a tailspin. The cherry on top is that after playing it, Erica remained silent and allowed thousands of comments to fly by. You see, it was the precision that made this live so different, not just the mess. It was obvious that Erica had been holding this, waiting, watching, gathering every line and piece of evidence. She wasn't ranting, she was presenting, and the more she presented, the more ugly it got. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. But approximately 20 minutes into the live stream, Erica paused, took a deep breath, and said, "This ain't about clout." Another fan in the chat claimed to recognize the shirt Desi was wearing in the FaceTime freeze frame. Erica briefly flashed, "That's from his story last month." Another fan pointed out that the timestamp on the message coincided with a weekend when Yandy had been booked for an event in Miami, hosting a brunch for women's empowerment while her husband was allegedly telling another woman he missed her piece. People are attempting to bury me while they're acting flawlessly. There's a limit to how long you can hide before the truth suffocates you. That Erica provided real data, including timestamps, cited Revolt Weekend in Miami, and displayed a call log that revealed several late-night calls from a number saved as Airbnb management. However, she claimed that was the alias Mendeecees used to conceal their communication, so the line alone was clipped and posted by 12 different blog pages in a matter of minutes. It was messy, raw, and convincing because, in contrast to most of what he said, she said drama. It was like watching someone slowly pull the rug out from under an entire empire. Yandy silent, not a post, not a story, not even a cryptic quote, which of course only made people more convinced something was real. Because Yandy doesn't stay silent when it's just rumors, but when it's real, the silence gets loud by the end of the live. Then came the pinning of a fan's comment, purportedly from someone claiming to be a former makeup artist for the show. It wasn't just Erica versus Yandy. Twitter trended with Harter Yandy Y exposed in less than an hour, and the most terrifying part was when Erica ended the live with 5 words, not a scream. Not a threat, just a promise, and then the screen went black. The silence that followed was deafening, and fans were refreshing her page as if their lives depended on it. It was the internet against the entire idea of the perfect couple. Memes began to flood the internet with timelines broken, crowns, and fire emojis, and Yandy edited into a soap opera poster. The internet went into a feeding frenzy as soon as Erica ended her live stream. Within minutes, Twitter threads appeared, dissecting every second of what she had shown, and TikTok detectives zoomed in on screenshots, matching backgrounds, comparing dates, and syncing timestamps. Instagram blogs were reposting the voicemail clip repeatedly, like it was the Zapruder film of reality TV. However, no one anticipated what happened next. An anonymous page identifying itself as NY Clicks abruptly dropped an audio clip, with the label reading Mendeecees. A man who sounded remarkably like Mendeecees added, "I told her not to go public," after Erica's live appearance. "She is currently playing with my entire family. I don't have time for hip-hop's *T and this love." The internet didn't wait for confirmation. They created their own. Fans started assembling his earlier Instagram stories, voice clips from interviews, and even old reunion footage, comparing speech patterns, and concluding that it was him. Suddenly, it wasn't just Erica talking anymore. Inside the love and hip-hop universe, however, the explosion was unfolding behind the scenes. According to a source who claimed to work security during taping last season, producers went into panic mode the moment Erica's live hit the blogs because the voicemail she played hadn't received legal clearance, meaning that if it was real, she would have broadcast something the network wanted to keep under wraps. Mona Scott's name began trending next. Fans weren't just dragging Yandy and Mendeecees. They were calling out the show for protecting them. Yandy's image was manufactured. One viral tweet read, "They edited out her mess for years while painting other women as villains. Now everything is disintegrating." And that's when it happened. The alleged former assistant, the one Erica mentioned, went live. Wig off, bonnet on, receipts in hand like she had been waiting for this day. She knew, she stated simply. Yandy was aware of everything. She's not a moron. She is calculating. Every time there's a blow-up, she shares those flawless family pictures. That's her tactic. It's a branding issue. She didn't falter. She didn't tremble, she remained steady. According to the assistant, Yandy was aware of Erica and Mendeecees' predicament since 2019. She claimed that after discovering DMEs between them, Yandy once sobbed as she walked backstage before a hosting gig, before appearing on stage with a smile on her face. Yandy avoids public altercations. "I hide," she said. She is in charge of the story, but she is unable to quiet one woman, and that is Erica. There was a fire on the internet. Like jigsaw pieces fitting together, bloggers pieced together Erica's live broadcast with the help. And sometimes the truth doesn't free you, as demonstrated by the one black and white photo that Erica put on her article. At times, it simply ignites everything. Supporters knew she wasn't finished. Yandy, meantime, was becoming more and more silent every hour. Normally, she would have diverted attention by posting a selfie with her children, or at least a mysterious Bible quote on her tail. But nothing this time. Mendeecees also shared a story. 3 easy words. "You're looking for more." Not a face. Only a dark backdrop. And Erica responded with a single phrase, if that was meant to be a warning of some sort. Bet. The internet briefly stopped breathing after reading those 3 letters. Because Erica's next move wasn't a tirade when she said, "Bet doesn't mean maybe I've got more dot." The stream wasn't live. The link was from Dropbox. Her story featured a single Dropbox link with no caption other than "complete surveillance." No falsehoods, no cuts. In a matter of seconds, the internet collapsed. Individuals were hurrying to access the file. And the world saw what Erica had been sitting on for 16 crazy minutes. 3 months ago, the video was timestamped. The place is Miami. The hotel lobby was poorly illuminated when the camera captured it. The doors of the lift opened. Precisely at 2:46 a.m., Mendeecees entered with a woman who was neither Yandy nor a cast member. She was a stranger whose face uncannily matched rumors. She wasn't hiding, floating about the blogs for months. She wasn't being cunning. She was laughing and walked next to him as if she belonged there, her hand resting on his back. Mendeecees then bent down to give her a neck kiss just before the lift doors closed. After that, there was a flurry of activity on the internet. Twitter was inundated with screenshots. TikTok was full of reaction videos. Supporters let up a yell. Critics screamed. Old tweets were being abruptly removed by people who had supported Yandy for years. This was no longer a rumor, this was video, and Erica remained silent as the footage aired. She left the caption off. She didn't have to. Hashtags were popular all around the world in less than an hour. Miami footage, sorry Empire cracks, ain't Yandy exposed. Erica wasn't done though, oh no. She shared a selfie of herself in her car a few minutes later, her voice steady, her eyes chilly, and her makeup removed. "I pleaded with him to tell the truth," she stated. "I gave her an opportunity to exit in style. However, I'm done defending those who would kill me to maintain my clean image." Then she gave names. Yandy's solicitors, Mona Scott, and VH1's legal team. She claimed they had all made an effort to silence her, offered hush deals, attempted to hide the video, and threatened to make her unhireable if she went against the grain. Erica grinned. "If I have to start over, I'll make a new career out of nothing." She wasn't playing a bluff. And the evidence. There were screenshots after that. Strings of emails, strands of text. One purportedly saved message from the LHPR queen. "Read, if you release this to the public, all of your future press will be shut down. Avoid letting this incident ruin your entire career." Erica wrote 5 words as a caption. Then, darling, let it burn. The internet formally changed at that point. The story was turned on its head. Erica was no longer viewed as the bad guy. They viewed her as the person who came forth with the idea that she would no longer be the target of abuse. Being untouchable was the foundation of Yandy and Mendeecees' brand. The armor was cracking now, though. VH1 issued a no-comment statement within 2 hours. Mona Scott fell silent. Manufacturing. Scott fell silent. Manufacturing. Insiders began posting messages to blogs under false pretenses. According to one, Yandy's contract contains an image provision. She has control over her appearance on the show. This is not good. What began as a live webcast quickly turned into a seismic event for the industry. Everything was on the line: the power couple persona, the flawless marriage, and the pristine image. Erica, on the other hand, was only beginning, because she shared one final anecdote before remaining silent for the evening, while the internet debated what was true and what wasn't. "I don't bluff. I record." More than anything else, that demonstrated that she wasn't merely attempting to offend. When the Miami video surfaced online, she was vying for the reign. Under pressure, everything Yandy and Mendeecees had worked so hard to create over the past 10 years, every couple goals caption, every tidy plot, and every phony, flawless reunion speech, started to fall apart like flimsy wallpaper. Not only were fans stunned, they were incensed. Angry at the years of manipulation, angry at being fed a picture, and angry at the extent of the deception. In a matter of hours, dozens of fan pages began comparing the Miami security footage with the pictures Yandy had uploaded that same weekend. At 2:46 a.m., one shot revealed guys dead in a hotel lift. M embracing the unidentified woman. "King and queen don't need to explain themselves. We move with purpose," read the caption for the other photo on Yandy's Instagram, which featured her holding an empowerment event earlier that evening. This man wasn't defending a queen. He was leading a double life. Yandy shared a fairy tale, but the real story was in the lobby. This is what happens when the mask finally comes off. Meme accounts went crazy, and TikTok was overrun with dramatic edits. A black love. The contrast, brutal, And the internet doesn't forgive. The comments were unrelenting. A leaked email thread circulated among industry blogs, purportedly showing producers frantically messaging about how to get ahead of the narrative. One line stood out like a flare in the night. "We cannot allow this to overshadow the next season's arc. We need Yandy controlled." Controlled. That one word was enough to make fans lose it because this was no longer just a scandal. Reaction channels were uploading breakdowns frame by frame, and even verified celebrities began subtly liking shady posts in the eyes of many. This was evidence that the network had been defending Yandy's image for years. Shortly after, an anonymous individual posing as a former producer made a statement to a gossip page saying, "Season 9 was heavily edited to protect Men's. We were told to make him look like a changed man. Any scenes that didn't fit the narrative got cut." Yandy had approval power. Nobody else had that kind of control. That statement alone, however, was shared over 400,000 times. Erica's silence was calculated. She wasn't posting outrageous stories or going on Tira. Speak for themselves. Fans began referring to her as the storm in heels. Every clip, leak, and silence was planned until something unexpected happened. An 8-second teaser of Erica's unedited live footage, which Instagram had cut when she was mysteriously booted off midstream the previous evening, appeared on TikTok with the handle "Reel from the Vault." In the clip, Erica was heard saying, "And if she keeps lying to the public, I'll drop the surveillance footage from that night in Miami." The internet went crazy. This indicated that Erica had planned this and hadn't merely gone live on a whim. Mendeecees turned off comments on all of his posts. Yandy's usual Good Morning Kings and Queens inspirational stories were nowhere to be found, and VH1 had gone silent. Even Mona Scott, who usually jumps in with some vague damage control, hadn't said a word, which only made it louder. Yandy's name was now trending in 3 countries, and there were hashtags like Yandy exposed and Yandy and Mendeecees everywhere. Just when people were beginning to wonder, Erica was going to vanish again, posting a single Instagram story. "Don't drop it," they cautioned, with black characters on a white background. So I dropped it. That was it. No hashtags, no names, just smoke. What made it worse for Yandy was how the receipts started connecting to old storylines. Fans went back to previous Love and Hip Hop reunions. They started rewatching old episodes. Suddenly, arguments that once painted Erica as the jealous villain looked different under this new light. One clip went viral from a reunion years ago when Erica shouted, "Yandy is not perfect. She simply conceals herself better." Yandy's composed smile at the time made Erica appear insane. But suddenly followers were sharing it all over the internet with captions like, "She warned us." Insiders began to whisper louder, and another alleged former staffer claimed that Yandy's contract had an image control clause, which in plain English meant that Yandy could veto any scene or storyline that made her look bad. For years, Erica had been edited as the explosive one, the messy one, the problem. Yandy's famous line about being the calm one who wins in silence reappeared, but people were no longer buying the calm. They saw it as calculation. As fans were sorting through all of this, Tease decided to speak, sort of, by posting a black screen to his Instagram story with the song "I Guess I'll Never Learn" playing softly in the background. He didn't include a caption, just vibes, but the internet reads everything, so speculations were sparked. Was it guilt? Was it shade? Maybe the explosions weren't unprovoked, but they were reactions. After a few minutes, Erica shared a picture of a closed laptop with the remark, "The tapes delivered." Was it a covert confession? "I finished my portion. Take pleasure in the performance." Fans compared it to a mic drop. She was no longer seeking attention after detonating a bomb and leaving, while Yandy's once steady and devoted fan base was disintegrating. She disappeared once more. The reaction nuclear. "Okay, but why isn't she saying anything if it's fake?" was a common question even among ardent supporters. Why is VH1 so silent too? People weren't just reacting. They were looking into every clip, timeline, and suspicious silence. This wasn't a rumor anymore. It was a movement. By this point, Twitter spaces about the scandal were running every hour, and one called Yandy's Villain Arc had over 85,000 listeners. Then came the last straw that made suspicion turn into indignation. Screenshots appeared from what seemed to be Yandy's actual contract clause. Section title, Approval of Personal Conflict Narrative. Fans felt deceived, manipulated, and played. One viral tweet stated, "We didn't watch reality, but rather, we watched her version of it." In other words, Yandy had the authority to approve or deny any scene involving personal drama prior to its airing, which meant that every reunion fight, heartbreaking moment, and story arc that the audience believed to be raw might have been shaped by Yandy herself. Erica didn't even need to say another word because she had done what no reunion fight, no shady interview, and no plotline could ever do. Yandy was no longer just a reality star. She had become a symbol of everything that people detest about contrived TV drama. The world had already exploded from the Miami footage. The receipts, the contract leaks, and Erica's silent but deadly strategy. But what happened next broke not just the internet, but everything Yandy and Mendeecees had spent years protecting. When Erica posted that one laptop photo with a caption, the tapes delivered, "My part's done." She destroyed Yandy's untouchable image, but everyone knew deep down that it wasn't over yet. Take pleasure in the performance. When someone like Erica Mena stays silent, it's not a sign of peace, but rather of preparation. So it wasn't just a dramatic mic drop. It was a threat with teeth. A brand new anonymous account appeared on Twitter at 2:17 a.m. with its handle at their real Dropbox. The account's first tweet was straightforward. If she won't tell the truth, the internet will. Fans who downloaded the zip file claimed it contained screenshots, unseen footage, and emails that allegedly linked Mendeecees to several late-night meetings, as well as more damning alleged internal production notes that referenced protecting the image at all costs. One document was labeled, "Narrative Control, Smith Family Season Arc." That tweet received over 200,000 retweets in an hour, and by sunrise, it was trending #1, Yandy. Single quotes as silence was now deafening. Fans who had been supporting her all week were beginning to turn against her, saying things like, "This is too much to be fake." Others simply switched sides, declaring Erica the season's truth slayer. While the typical gossip blogs, such as The Shade Room, Hollywood Unlocked, and Lipstick Alley, were ablaze. Hundreds of thousands of comments were being left on posts, and influencers were hosting live stream breakdowns with charts, timelines, and conspiracy theories like it was a high-stakes trial. As the chaos grew, the producer who had remained silent throughout, finally made an anonymous statement to an entertainment outlet. What Erica's doing isn't just messy. She's exposing how the show works. If everything she has come out, it won't just ruin Yandy's image, it could burn down an entire franchise. When Yandy finally went live, it wasn't a pre-recorded statement or a lawyer-crafted message. "I know my husband. I know my truth." The lighting was perfect, her glam was flawless, and she had that big gleaming symbol of the image she'd spent 10 years defending on her ring finger. She looked calm, but the kind of calm that could break with one wrong question. "There's a lot of noise right now," she said softly. "I have no intention of entertaining lies or disrespect." She never once mentioned Erica's name, addressed any of the footage, denied the audio, or even acknowledged the Dropbox files that were going viral. However, the audience no longer believed it, and the comment section was overflowing with people saying things like, "This ain't a sermon, sis. Girl, show your receipts." We watched the video. "You must be afraid if you're so calm. Branding won't get you out of this one. She wasn't built for public humiliation like you are." The moment those words hit the internet, you could feel the digital gasp. "She wasn't built for public humiliation like you are." Not only did that line confirm the affair, but it also revealed something uglier: a man. Erica posted a clip, a short, sharp piece of audio that was a phone call. Erica's voice was calm and steady, and then his voice was Mendeecees. "I ain't trying to blow it all up. I just need time to fix it on my end." Mendeecees was not disputing that he was using one lady to shield another. He was planning, and now the entire world was hearing it. The hashtags LHHATL and Yandy Exposed read, "What exploded again?" The audio went viral, and even celebrities who typically avoided messy drama began subtweeting lines like, "When you build on lies. Don't act surprised when the truth shows up to collect." Yandy tried to keep quiet, but it wasn't working anymore. Women like Chrissy Cambella Samantha and former castmates who had previously argued with her began liking shady posts. As if things couldn't get any messier, VH1 was hacked for roughly 20 minutes. The official website was rerouted to a blank screen with white writing that said, "The vault unlocked." Some even republished old clips in which they cautioned followers that Yandy isn't who she seems to be. Marriage is based on deception. Production is aware. You will soon as well. Before the website was restored, Reddit captured the screenshots. Although no one knew who was responsible, Everyone was certain that it was related to this controversy. This was becoming more than simply Erica versus Yandy. It was becoming a reality TV revolution. Then the dagger appeared. After a former producer leaked a part of Yandy's contract to a gossip blog anonymously, the content was in black and white, approval of personal conflict narrative. This meant that Yandy had the legal authority to approve or deny any scenes involving her that involved personal conflict before they aired. For years, Yandy was the calm, graceful queen, the hero of every storyline, and Erica was portrayed as the antagonist, the one who was too loud, too aggressive, and too unstable. However, the betrayal was not just personal. It was cinematic. Bloggers began calling it the fall of the love and hip-hop queen, and entire YouTube channels went live, breaking down the downfall in real time. One fan even edited a fake movie trailer, The Untouchable Yandy Smith, the beginning of the end. Yandy's Empire brand deal sponsorship's image started to shake as the world roasted. A major beauty brand quietly removed her photo from their website. A speaking engagement she was supposed to headline. I told you that she built an image. I've built evidence. That post alone received over 2 million likes in 5 hours, and even those who once detested Erica had to acknowledge that she didn't just come for drama. She came for a reckoning. Stories, no posts, just silence. And that silence only made him look more guilty than Erica's next selfie. Her hair was messy, there was no filter, no glam, just her face and the caption. Fans didn't care because once a mask is ripped off in front of you, it's no longer just a scandal. It's a reckoning. The Miami footage, the leaked contracts, the exposed narrative control, the voicemail, the public silence, all of it has painted a picture of power, betrayal, and manipulation that no PR team can clean up. But now the mask had cracked, and once the internet smells blood, it doesn't stop. As night fell, several insiders suggested that VH1 executives were holding an emergency meeting to figure out how to contain the fire. Because this is more than just reality TV, this is real power shifting hands in front of millions, and trust me, the story isn't over. So if you want the uncut truth, not the version polished for TV, not the watered down reunion speech, but the real story as it explodes in real time, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. Because the next leak, the next clapback, the next bombshell could drop any second. Will Yandy finally break her silence with the truth? Will VH1 intervene to protect their golden couple?